You want this?
Hello, my name is Danny Rubel. I'm the Chamber President this year. I'd like to welcome you all to the third annual Business Challenge. We've got an exciting program tonight and an exciting program over the next couple of weeks. For those of you that are hoping to start a business, expand a business, or anything in between. Maybe you're here just for curiosity, and hopefully you're here to enrich yourselves. So I'd like to say, first I'd like to say thank you for investing in yourselves, for being here, and thank you for investing in Washington County. Because of you, we will continue to make our community a great place to live and work. And really about the only last piece of nugget that I'll give you is when it comes to business, there's really no silver bullet other than hard work and perseverance. No two businesses are operated the same, and I would hope that that you would aspire not to make your business a carbon copy of another business. And just as an example, I would say that here just inside Abingdon, we have 4 grocery stores: Kroger, Food City, Food Country, and Food Line. All very successful, but I guarantee you none of them are operated the same way, none of them are managed the same way, but they're all successful. So, along with hard work, I would also strive to determine what success is for you. Don't let somebody else paint a picture of what success is, because we all have different ideas of what success looks like and how we envision our business. So with that, I will turn it over to Sandy Radler. Thank you and good luck.
Well, welcome. This is our 3rd annual Washington County Business Challenge. I see some familiar faces, but some that I haven't had the fortune to meet, but I welcome you tonight. We have a lot to do for the next 6 weeks. First of all, everyone, when you check in, you should receive a notebook. That has all the information that we're going to go over, and each week when we have presenters give out materials, we wanted to do that to give you an option to be able to keep everything together. Also, you should have received a flash, or I never use them hardly much. Thumb drive. I'm so used to the cloud. That's a 4 gig. Hopefully you can keep up with your business plan. You can use that to back up and all the other materials that you have. Use that. Thanks for the Chamber for needing everybody to put that together. But before we get started, I think it would be good if we go around the room, introduce ourselves. First of all, I'm Sandy Radler. I'm with the Department of Small Business and Supplier Diversity. We're a state agency focused on helping businesses not only get started, but also helping them to expand. As the weeks go on, I'll talk more, and hopefully we'll get to know each other and learn about resources that we can offer as a state. My office is actually in this building, but I serve 23 counties, and a lot of times it's in a Chevrolet somewhere on 81, cussing that truck driver that's in the left lane. That's one of my favorites. But I have been in economic development for now going on 27 years. When I started working on this challenge, it's been the most fun and rewarding opportunity, and I'm so glad that each one of you all are now participating in this activity. We could not do this without the sponsorship. Let me tell you, you're doing something that's unique to any other place in Virginia, because your local governments not going out looking for handouts or actually investing, because we've received money from the Washington County Administration. They gave us $5,000 towards this. The Washington County Industrial Development Authority donated $5,000 to this. The Town of Abingdon donated $5,000 to this. In addition, for the first time this year, we received money that will go towards a business, $5,000 each, that will go to a business located in Damascus or Glade Spring. So now we have $25,000 that your localities have invested to help spark entrepreneurship. So congratulations, and you live in a fantastic part of the country to do that. And if you don't, just talk to Carl and Noblick. We'll go around and introduce ourselves, but there's communities trying to do something similar, but they're not investing locally. in this opportunity, what we're offering here, so consider yourself lucky. But we'll go around the room. Just introduce yourself if you want to tell what you're going to be doing. Feel free. So I'll start here.
Hi there, I'm Paul Godola, and I own Iron Mountain CrossFit in Abingdon, but this would be for Iron Mountain Endurance and Community Fitness in Damascus.
I'm Debbie Saltzman with Hippie Chicker Cycle Art in Damascus.
Amy Smith with Terrific Name. Raven Mann doing web design and graphic design for small businesses.
Joe Dillon Walters, I'm observant. Susan Yates, also observant tonight.
I'm Eric Reynolds, local. I'm with Wolf's Barbershop. Josh Ashton, Washington County, Mr. Third.
Okay.
Joanna Wilson with Kindred Spirits Incline Academies.
Nancy Inasu, the mother, and
Tracy Stanley, and we have Fiddlehead Junction in Glade Spring.
Lindsay Holderfield with Paperman Studio.
I'm Tyler Keene. I'm here to observe.
And I'm Lindsay Keene. I am with Barker and Company here in Washington County.
Lisa Barker, I'm also with Barker and Company.
My name is Marla, and I have the Crooked Road General Store, and I played the lottery so that I could just come in and give everybody $5,000. But then I lost, and I felt really bad, so I just brought everybody a Happy New Year. There is one stipulation I've learned in business: I get 20% of that. I'm serious.
Obviously, Marla's already practicing her pitch.
What'd she call me? Oh, right.
My name is Eva Boley, and my husband Michael and I have Adventure Mendota in Mendota, Virginia.
Great.
I'm Kyle King with White Birch Juice Company.
And I'm Nicole Dyer with White Birch Juice Company.
Junior Hayden with Blade Service Center.
Katie Lamb, I'm an instructor and artist. Susan Seymour, I'm with Mojo's Trailside Cafe in Damascus.
Terry Hall and Peter Third.
I'm Stephen Third. I have a clothing company called Eric Stevens in Glade, and I am expanding into a manufacturing, hopefully here next year.
Great.
Rod Cyclone, retired former law enforcement in North Carolina, moved here a few years ago and looking to open a business here.
I'm Charlotte Peterson, I'm observing.
Jacob Andrew also there.
I'm Cindy Murray, I'm Managing Director of Virginia In-Home Assistance.
I'm Brittany Helton, I'm a multimedia specialist hoping to advance my freelance into a thriving business. Rhonda Connell, and I have a couple of businesses, but I'm looking to do a third business. I have a publishing company right now, and we also own the Nickerson City House of Glade Spring. We have it open to do historical tours. We have a haunted house in the fall, but we are looking to open a rafting company in Damascus.
And when do you sleep?
Not often. Brittany's also my daughter, so we're competing.
Valerie Caldwell, Quality Maintenance and Repair.
Tim Caudill, quality maintenance and repair.
Okay, Suzanne, we'll start at the back.
Suzanne White with the Washington County Chamber of Commerce.
Carl Knobloch, Small Business Administration.
Nita Farmer, Washington County Chamber of Commerce.
I'm Jennifer Davidson, I work here at the Yukon Police Communication.
Cindy Green with People Incorporated.
My name is Buddy Scher. I hope to open a marketing firm.
Hi, I'm Mike Bowley. I'm a partner with Eve and Adventure Mendota.
And then back on the camera.
I'm Sandy Ratliff, and I'm Andrea Smith, and I'm going to be talking about steps to starting your business, and I work for People Incorporated. I'm the business development trainer. That was hard, turning the camera and talking.
But you're good. You're multitasking.
I can chew gum and walk.
This could not happen not only with the sponsorships, but also with the team. My hat's off to the Chamber of Commerce, Suzanne and Nita. They are the administrators, and by the way, Nita's the person who's going to be behind. That's going to be behind the checks, so you want to be nice to her. So if you do win, you take that invoice and ask for payment. Nita's the person. And Carl, folks, he drove all the way from, did you come from Richmond?
Yep.
Here we
Carl's
go.
with the Small Business Administration. You're talking about, there's no one in the state of Virginia, or probably in the U.S., that's more dedicated to helping small business than this gentleman right here. And he is a great resource. You're missing out on a great opportunity. And also Cindy was on the planning team. We've got a number of other agencies, folks that weren't able to be here. And one person that has been behind this and is one of our major team players is Kathy Lowe, who is the director here at the incubator and also with the town of Abingdon, town council member. Unfortunately, she's up in Richmond doing work, so you've got us for this week. But for the next 6 weeks, we're going to be seeing a lot of each other. And our goal is when you leave here that you're going to have the confidence, but also the tools and the network that you're going to be able to take that idea and go with it. Because we're just going to give you the opportunity. The next step is yours for the next 6 weeks. So hopefully you will take it and go with it. Now that we've done the introductions, I will, by the way, housekeeping. If you've not been here before to the incubator, there's something important you need to know. There's the restroom. When you go out the door, make a left and then make another hard left and you will see them there. My goal right now is to go over the guidelines. When you filled out your application, you were supposed to review all the guidelines and sign off on that in your application when you submitted that. And that went to the Chamber of Commerce because we keep all of that. So I want to go over some things, some highlights of that guidelines that we want to make sure you understand. So bear with me because this is our 3rd year. Those others that's competed in the last 2 years has kept us on our toes, so we want to make sure we get everything out and everybody knows what's going on. First of all, you have to be a for-profit business located in Washington County or the towns of Abingdon, Damascus, and Glade Spring to be able to qualify. So if you're not that, goodbye. Also, if you're going to be participant, and if you should happen to win, your business has to be located in a zone for business location in the towns of Abingdon, Washington County, Glade Spring, and Damascus. You also must create a minimum of 1 job, full-time job, or it could be equivalent to 2 part-time jobs to be able to qualify. And as you go on, if you should win, as you receive those payments, or those, before you receive a payment, you have to show proof that you have created that job. Again, Nia is pretty tough to deal with, and I would give her chocolate or something to be nice to her as we move forward on this. You also have to show proof that you have started your business, that you've gotten your business license if you're located in any of the towns, or you've also got your applicable taxes accordingly. Okay? Any questions so far? You've got all this in your notebook. How the challenge scoring will take place, it will be the biggest amount of your scoring comes from your business plan. That's the biggest part, and we have included in your packet a list of mentors. Carl being one of them. We have a small business development center up on the hill here at the community college, but there's a list in your packet that's in your notebook of mentors that you should reach out to. Those are mentors that are experienced in helping with business planning, credit, marketing, even if you have a tourism-related business, we have folks that are on that. This is your opportunity. Again, the next 6 weeks, you all are competing with each other, and the best wins. And you want to put your best foot forward, right? So use these mentors. If you need additional help and they're not on that list, let us know, and we'll find you the expertise that you may need because we know people, right, Carl? We get things done. The other part that you're going to be graded on is the last night of this is your pitch night. It's kind of like your Shark Tank. You're going to be judged. There'll be 4 judges that you will have 8 minutes, I think is the time limit, to pitch your business idea. How you use that 8 minutes is up to you. But that's your opportunity, and you will be graded because we have samples in your packet of the scoring, how it's going to be done by the business plan judges, but also how it's going to be done by the pitch judges. And then the other part is attendance, which you must attend all workshops. If you're in a partnership, And you need to designate someone within that partnership that has to attend all the workshops. Is there any questions on that? You are allowed to have one excused absence, but that's it. After that, if you miss, and you're the person that's assigned to be doing this class, you will be automatically disqualified. We have to do that. And trust me, we've had every angle to try to hit us to get around that. But we feel that this next 6 weeks is too valuable to you that to not make you attend. Because we have some great presenters and some great opportunity for you to meet professionals like in law, CPAs, insurance that you can ask questions. So if you're not taking advantage of that, then why are you here? But that is important. So don't try to test this because, by the way, you have to get Kathy Lowe's approval to miss a class. So try to use her as get an excuse by her. Good luck on that. Also, you have to, if you're more than 15 minutes late to the class, just like you would in college, you will automatically be absent. And we have to do that again. It's no fair for you to come in 30 minutes or an hour later and everyone else came on time. You've missed important information. We have to do that. I'm sorry. I hate to be the bad guy because Kathy does the bad cop and I do the good cop so much better. She planned this. I know that has to be a way. We do have bad weather. We had that unfortunately last year several times. In the event that we do have snow, flooding, we're going to observe what the Virginia Highlands Community College schedule is. So if they're out of school that day, their night classes are canceled, then we're going to be out. And then what we will do is notify you either through the Virginia Highlands Small Business Incubator's website or their Facebook page. We also have a Washington County Challenge Facebook page. And we also can send you, if you ask, we can send you via text of when the makeup will be. It could be the Thursday of that same week, but somehow we'll have to make up the class. Because our goal is on March the 17th, that's the right date, we're going to announce the winners. So we are on a tight time frame. We have to get those business plans in for the judges. And so it's a schedule. Just like if we were shooting a movie, we got to keep on it. So we got to make it up some way. The prize awards, we're going to give a $5,000 to a startup located in Washington County or the towns. We're going to do a second place of $1,500 and a third place of $500. That's for startups. The same goes for an existing business. $5,000 is the first place, second place $1,500, and third place is $500. Again, I mentioned earlier about special money set aside for any business located in Damascus or Glade Spring. You can be a startup or an existing, but you have to be located within the town corporate limits of Damascus or Glade Springs to qualify. We also are compliments of the chamber. The first and second place winners will receive a 1-year free membership to the chamber. And if you don't know what the value is to a chamber, you cannot, for the minimal investment you make in a chamber, the networking that you're able to get for both promoting your business and also accessing professionals in your community, you're missing out on the golden opportunity. I love working with chambers all throughout my service territory because they are your eyes and ears within the business community, and you should take advantage of that. Even if you shouldn't, if for some reason you don't win, you still need to think of that as part of your marketing, is investing into your chamber membership. And by the way, Suzanne didn't pay me for that. Also, if for the first place winner of a startup, the incubator here is reducing half price for your rent for 1 year here. This is a pretty cool place. If this is the first time you've ever been in here, this is one of the gold mines in here in Washington County and Town of Abingdon, is this place right here. There's so much that's done almost weekly here to offer to help small businesses, as well as, again, Kathy is a cheerleader. I'm here in the office. The chamber's right across the street. This is a great place in your community. For the first time, we even have private sector businesses that are putting up money for this challenge. Again, I love it that we have, again, not only your county government, but some of your business people. So Speedway Blevins is offering 1-year CPA services for a startup located again within the county and towns. And that will be how he determines, or how we determine that will be the highest score with everything calculated together, both in both for startup, or if you're going to Glade or Damascus money, that we're adding it all together, that's who will win. And that, they're offering all kinds of stuff and helping you get set up to do your tax reporting, all kinds of stuff. So for those of you that's been in business for a while, you know that's pretty headache, isn't it? Just keeping all that stuff. And then finally, Penn Stewart is contributing for the startup winner. They're providing help with the preparation and filing of all your formation documents and so forth. That's about a $2,500 value. So, aren't you excited? Come on, we're trying to feed you a little small pizza in there. We've had a couple people that are wondering who's going to be seeing the business plans and the information that's provided. We are a sticker for confidentiality. The only people that will see your business plan are the 3 judges, and they are anonymous, and they're not from this area. We are doing everything that we can to keep this fair, that nobody questions that maybe it's somebody we work with the bank. Well, they're not from the bank here. We're going outside the area. Those 3 are the only ones that will see your business plan, and when you submit your plan, you're going to give us 3 copies, and that's what we'll just put them in a bag and deliver it, because I'm good on 81. We want to help you through that time when you're starting your business. If you should win, or existing business, we require you, as part of your being able to receive the funding, is that you have to take advantage of the mentoring for at least 6 months. So that's part of it, and you have the list of those mentors in your book there. NINA wants at least 2 weeks advance notice when you're asking for a disbursement. And part of that, when you ask, is you have to have a mentor sign off on that request. Anything that I need to add, Nita, on that?
No, that it's already been paid in.
Yes, it's what it is, it's a receipt. We're not giving you the money and you spend it the way you want. You have to make that investment to show us the receipts, either that be for new equipment, rent, however, you have to show that you've already made that and it's a reimbursement for that investment. Again, you have to use the money within 12 months. So it's March the 17th, so by March 2017, hopefully you're in business and you've used all your money. If not, I guess we'll go to Hawaii. Right, Suzanne? Okay. Again, each time you have to show proof again on that job creation. Again, home-based businesses, if you must move within a storefront or be in a zone for business location within the ward's time frame. And then that's it. Any questions?
For the masses, is it the $1,500 award?
The way we will do that is all the numbers will be tallied up for everything. So even if we got 2 Damascus that's the top, we'll have 2 options now. We'll have 5,000 from the main pool and 5,000 for Glade or Damascus. Any other questions? Gosh, was I that intimidating? Okay, well I will turn it over to Andrea. She's a lot more fun than me because I had to get back. But have fun, and we're here when you need us.
Thank you, Sandy, for being the bad cop. I really appreciate that. Except you were talking about money, so I don't see how that's bad at all. I'm Andrea Smith. Like I said before, I'm a business development trainer with People Incorporated. I'm going to be talking to you today about steps on starting your business. First things first, you've got a bunch of papers sitting in front of you. You're like, what is all this stuff? First thing, I've made a copy of the presentation. It has little notes lines on it, and I've punched holes in it for you. You can stick that in your binder. Those of you that do have binders. Follow along, take notes, doodle on it, whatever you please. The next couple things we have in there, you've got 2 stapled packets. One says business plan workbook. That is like a fill in the blank that is for you. I'm not going to be using that. You're to use that within your own time if you need it while you're creating your business plan. This one that says contents on it, this is what I'm going to be using today when we go through the presentation. So if you want to follow along, I would use this one that says contents. Next thing, you've got a couple of rack cards there. They are blue. I don't have any up here. Thanks, Cindy.
Sorry.
They look like this.
Good help.
Cindy.
Good help's hard to find.
I know. I've got another Cindy up here.
Oh, okay.
She's going to help me too.
Okay.
These are just about People Incorporated. We offer business loans, which I'll talk about in the presentation, as well as consumer loans. And then if you have questions about any of those, here is my card. You can email me, call my cell phone, anything like that. I go to bed at 9 o'clock. Please do not call me after that. However, tonight might be a little different. Also, we offer Virginia individual development accounts. For those of you that are interested and you wonder if you qualify, I've got a list of service areas. That is an account that Virginia offers, and when you deposit $1, they match it with $2. And it has to be used for buying a house, starting a business, and going to school, putting you or your child through school. And I've got a couple packets on the information table up here. They have applications if anybody's interested, have any questions. See me or Cindy Green in the back right there. There she is, in all her glory. All right, now to the fun stuff. My connection was lost on my little remote. Okay. All right, how to build a successful business. First, we have to have an idea, right? You've got to come up with that grand idea that you're going to change the world and everybody's going to need this. That's how I think. You're going to need to establish a need in the market. You can't just go out there if there's not a need in that market. All important thing, most businesses need a business plan. Okay, not most, but all businesses. If you are going to borrow money, you're going to need a business plan. If you are going to lease a building, more than likely you're going to need a business plan. So there's kind of no getting around that, and that's what we're going to talk about today. You're going to have the capital to start your business, whether that be through a bank loan, a credit union loan, your rich uncle. I don't know if anybody has that. I don't have one. Or just the equity that you have put in yourself with your personal savings. And then you're going to have operations and management strategy. You might know how to cook really well, and you're going to start a restaurant, but you might be a good manager, and you're going to need people to operate that business for you. And Miss Sandy Ratliff has given us a nice little video that we will play.
Local production, and we have all the companies. When you look at the seed tube, all the sizes that we want, we can get it from the bamboo. When I was in the college, I decided to see how best I can do something after school, especially using our local raw materials to do. personalized design, like custom-made bags, they write fancy names, very attractive names. We're creating employment for them. So we're so happy about the social impact that the bamboo bag is making. The idea of we even going back, donating bicycles for kids that work hard from their homes through the bamboo bag production is really amazing. This was a bit difficult though, because the prototype wasn't successful. But later, we tried on day in and day out. As we know, business, there is always risk. But with perseverance, we can go back.
I wanted to point out, the reason I wanted her to show that, that's a great example of an entrepreneur that saw an idea and a need, and figure. I mean, who would ever dream to make bicycles out of bamboo? I wouldn't
and now
have.
she employs
35
young people and disabled people, and now she's created jobs for her community. So.
Yeah, and she's giving back to her community too. That's part of entrepreneurship. Is not, is working in within your community. So that's the reason I wanted her to show that. I just thought it was
super
unique.
warm and fuzzy. I didn't mean to start that again. Our agenda today, we're going to go through your business plan and that contents page. I'm going to go step by step of what you're going to need in that business plan. Then we're going to go through financing your business. I know, probably the worst part. Then we're going to go quickly through customer service in business, just because we have a customer service class coming up in your challenge, and I'm probably going to be strapped for time, so we're just going to zip right through that. And then we'll go through research and marketing, because that's very important in your business. And then your resources that you have available here in Virginia. I know Sandy talked a little bit about those. We're going to go through a few more. So why do you all think that you need, why do you think a business plan is important? Why do I need a business plan? Raise your hand. Structure.
Reach financial goals.
Absolutely.
Keep you on track.
Keep you on track. Exactly. And that's why we have this road up here. How many of you, if you were planning a trip and you say, I want to go on the Pacific Coast Highway, which would be awesome, how many of you would just go on a whim? There's always one. Always one. If you would go on a whim, would you not want to do research of where you're going to eat?
I just kind of do that as I go along.
What about if you wanted to stop somewhere for gas?
Siri? Do you use Siri?
There's always a gas station.
What about a place to stay?
Sleep in the back seat, yeah.
What about money? Wouldn't you want to have a plan for how you're going to get money, or a plan of what you're going to do for money? You'd want to plan for money, right?
Yes.
So yes, you would want to go on a whim. I'm all for spontaneity. However, you would still need a little bit of a plan. And that includes even, Siri, like Sandy said, or if you're going on Yelp, you're still kind of planning that out. Well, what are some restaurants in Fort Bragg, California? So you're going to still need a little bit of a plan. And that's why you need a business plan for structure. So there are two ways to see if your business idea will work. You can create that business plan and write it and see if that idea makes sense. Or you can go on your Pacific Coast Highway trip on a whim, know where to stay, sleep in the back of your car, and see what happens. I don't know if I'd want to see what happens in the back of my car somewhere in California. I have no idea what would happen. Now, guess which one has the most success rate?
Number one.
First one, absolutely. So what goes into your business plan? If you get out that contents page, well, booklet, not page. First, your executive summary. Then you're going to have your business description. Your operations and management. What product and service that you are offering to the consumer. Your your marketing plan, financial statements and projections. So that means personal financial statements, cash flow projections, tax returns, things like that. And then your appendix. Your appendix is going to be those things like letters of recommendation, your resume, a leasing agreement, if you've already got a leasing agreement somewhere, things of that nature. Your first part is your executive summary. 2 to 3 paragraphs. It's just your little snippet. Like if you were going to go someplace and pitch your business idea and you had 2 minutes to talk about it, this is kind of your executive summary. What you're going to want in it. It's the first part of your business plan. However, you're going to want to write it last. The reason being is because you've went all through that stuff, business description, operations and management, how you're going to run that business, your products and service, your marketing plan, everything. You've run through all that stuff. And then you get to the executive summary, and that's going to take you 2.5 seconds. Because you have already done all that work. You know what you want to get across to everybody when they read that first page of your business plan to say, I want to dive into the rest of that. Your executive summary should be written last. Your next part right here is your business description. Where's your location? Are you going to be in Washington County? Are you going to be in Damascus? Are you going to be in Glade Springs? Are you startup and you're operating out of your home and you have a service area? Do you have a radius that you're serving? Are you operating out of a brick and mortar and you still have a service area? They're going to want to know that. What's your product and service that you're offering? What goal you have with your products and service? What goal do you have to take that to the consumer? What are you trying to accomplish with this goal? I'm going to pick on Paul, because I know Paul pretty well. He kicks my butt 4 to 5 times a week at CrossFit. He started Iron Mountain Endurance. His goal is to bring a community fitness place that everybody can come, work out, feel good, and get the instruction that they need. Am I right? Yes. Pretty spot on. I was cheating there because I already knew what his goal was. Last thing is, how is your business different? How are you different? How's Paul going to be different from any other community fitness place? Yeah, how are you going to be different? He's going to be in Damascus. That's a little bit different. I would say that Paul is going to be a little bit different because he provides great customer service. He provides great instruction. He provides a kindness that, comes with the butt kicking. I don't know if those can go together at all, but they really kind of do. And he's nice about it. He's going to push you, but he's going to be nice about it. So that's how he's going to be different. The next part is your operations and management. If you're a startup, you're not going to have any company history. But if you're a startup and you're taking over a building, an older building or an older business that had been there, put that in there. Put that in your operations and management. Everybody loves a heartwarming historical story of how it came to be. So definitely put that in there. And if you're an existing business and you're trying to expand, put your company history in there. People want to know where you've been and where you want to go. Your legal status and ownership needs to go in there. We will talk a little bit more about legal status. That means your legal entity, your sole proprietorship, LLC, things like that. You're going to need to put that in your operations and management section. Your management, obviously, that's going to go in that section. Who's going to run your business? Like I said, you could be a great cook, but can you run a restaurant? Who's going to manage that restaurant? Who's going to bartend? Who's going to be a supervisor? Also, your supporting professionals are going to be in here too. That's your CPAs. You can start up a business, but you might not be good at bookkeeping. You're going to want to put your CPA in there. Your lawyer, if you've got a lawyer already on standby who's going to help you, definitely put that supporting professional in there. Your products and service section. What consumer needs are being met? Just because you build your business does not mean that they will come. services are you offering? How are you going to be different? What needs are being met? Make sure you're choosing your suppliers and distributors here. Identify them. Have a backup plan. You might have people that you like to deal with on a daily basis for suppliers and distributors. Well, what happens when Snowmageddon comes again and you can't get any of your supplies, or you can't get any of your distributors to take your product out to where you need it to go? Always have a backup plan. Make sure you are looking at the current industry's conditions. Is your industry in a good condition that your business is going to be in? Is it growing? Also the trends. What are the consumer trends in your industry? What's going on there? What kinds of things are they buying? What kinds of services are they wanting? Also, government regulations. That's a big one. Make sure you check on all government regulations. Say you're a convenience store. Take the convenience store down the street as an example. Your convenience store, you sell bottled water, things like that in nature. Well, I think it's in Exxon, and they wanted to start selling food. They sell hot sandwiches, they have a grill, things like that. Well, they had to look at government regulations because you have to have a hood vent for somewhere of that grease to go. You have to have a hood vent. Also, if you're serving hot food, you have to have a handicap bathroom. Hood vents and handicap bathrooms are very expensive to get up to code. So make sure before you decide you're going to serve food or anything like that, you're checking government regulations. Make sure you're checking government regulations on any business that you're going into. Also, any other barriers to overcome to enter your market. Marketing. It's the most exciting thing in the business, marketing. I think so. I love talking to people. However, it's the thing that goes by the wayside the most. Do you know your target market? Who in here knows their target market? For sure, 100%. Sandy, I'm going to pick on you. What's your target market? Okay. All right. So she's got it narrowed down pretty good. You want to narrow that down. Say I'm going to open up an auto parts store. Who would be my target market for an auto parts store?
People who own cars.
Okay. That's a pretty big target market, right? I mean, around here we don't have a good public transportation system. So everybody's going to have a car. Well, what if I wanted to sell Ford auto parts? What did I do? Shrink it down. What if I wanted to sell 1969 Ford Mustang parts? What would my target market be for that?
Very little.
Very little. You don't necessarily have to shrink it down that much, but you can't be everything to everyone. You got to narrow it down a little bit. You got to know who your competition is. Is your competition somebody next to you, across the street, in the next county, in the next state? You got to know who that is. And you got to have a marketing strategy. How are you going to promote that? Are you going to do social media? Are you going to have advertising? Are you going to do a bunch of press releases? Things like that. Financial data. I wrote down in my notes, this is the scary part. It is kind of the scary part, but there are so many resources available to you. Like Sandy said, you can contact these people, and I've got on the next slide who you should contact. They're going to sit down with you, and they can look up those numbers of your, what are the prices of the industry that you're currently trying to go into? What are the median prices? But in your financial data, you're going to have a balance sheet, an income statement, a cash flow statement, and a personal finance statement. Here is the assistance. I'm sure, hey Sandy, is that list, it's probably got more people than I have on here.
Yes, it does. It's got score, rep, or person, and again, tourism. There's probably about 10 on there.
Okay, definitely use them. They can help you with your cash flow statement. They can help you with the demographics. They can help you. Definitely use them.
Tom here at the Highlands College. You could reach out to him and set up an appointment. With a class as large as this, though, don't wait till that last week when you're getting ready to turn in your business plan. Go ahead and start reaching out to your mentors and Tom now so that they have time to spend the time that they'll need with each of you.
And you've got the best in Commonwealth over there standing in the corner, just saying, people. You need to get his card.
Carl was looking at me like, what?
There's a lot of them and there's one of you, Carl.
Yeah.
They're outnumbered.
Yeah. There's a few things that you're going to need to do before you print your business cards out. You're going to need to determine your legal entity, which the next slide will talk about that a little bit more in depth. Check your name availability. See if it's trademarked, see if you can use it. Bless you. I felt like there was another one coming too. Bless you. You are going to need to register with the SEC, your corporation or LLC, or your fictitious name. Fictitious name means DBA, doing business as. Say I have Andrea Corporation and I want to start a floral company, and I call it Andrea's Floral Company because I'm original like that. That's a DBA. I own Andrea's Corporation, but I'm starting a little business underneath that, and that's my DBA. You're going to need to check to see if your URL is available. Websites are important to set up. I always recommend that. Example of checking to see if your URL is available. Has anybody been to Nissan Cars website? Anyway, if you noticed anything different about it. It's Nissan USA. Why? Why is it Nissan USA? Why isn't it Nissan.com? Well, some Japanese guy owned Nissan.com. Nissan offered him a gazillion amount of money, and he still would not budge. I have no idea why. He must have been really financially stable. However, Nissan could not get that URL, so they are NissanUSA.com. Always make sure and check, because you can get into some legal trouble if you don't. Make sure you get your federal employer identification number with the IRS. Something that doesn't apply to sole proprietorships. You can use your Social Security number. However, I think it's a good idea to go ahead and get an EIN. Make sure you register with the Virginia Department of Taxation. Make sure you register if you have employees with the DEC. Check with the Department of Professional Occupational Regulations to see if you need any special permits. And obtain a business license. What'd you say about it, Cindy, that it's different? You might not have to have a business license in Washington County.
Well, it depends on the county you're in, the town, the city. Every one of them's different, so make sure that you check. And Suzanne, you said
For Washington County,
you don't have to have a business license. Okay, but if we're still,
but you do in the town.
But
So
you do in the town.
you just need to check with your locality.
Gotcha. Next, the fun part, legal entity. It is one of the most important decisions that you will make. Why? Because it affects your personal liability. It affects your house, it affects your cars, it affects your money, it affects anything that you have your name on. It also affects how you are taxed, personal and business. This also affects how the IRS sees you. So make sure that you get the right legal entity. First, ownership structure, a sole proprietorship. If you're one person, this is an easy way to start. You can use your Social Security number as the EIN, and you report your profits and losses on your personal tax returns on your 1040. Unlimited personal liability, though. That's a little scary. And you're fully responsible for any debts or obligations. Next is the partnership agreement. You will have to have a partnership agreement. Usually husband and wives are okay, but in a partnership, plan for a divorce. No matter if you think you've got your best friend going into business with you, you're going to need a partnership agreement. What happens when one of you wants out of the business? You got to plan for the divorce. Make sure you have that in writing, signed, notarized, whatever you have to do. Disadvantages, like I said, each partner is personally liable for the entire business. and it's more complicated to start up. Next is the corporation. It's a little bit more pricier to set up at the start than an LLC or a sole proprietorship or anything like that, but it might be beneficial in the long run with taxes and things like that. I know for a fact with a corporation you're going to have articles of incorporation. Those are a little bit lengthy. I would consult an accountant and a lawyer, accountant or a lawyer, and see what legal entity is right for you. You need to do your research on those. Next is an LLC. This gives you, I know I'm not reading them line by line, this gives you a little bit extra protection than a sole proprietorship because you are not personally liable for the debts of the business. So that means if anything goes bad in the business, they can't come after you, they can't come after your house, they can't come after your personal savings, and they can't come after your cars unless they're in the business name. It is a legal entity, not a tax entity. A single person is taxed as a sole proprietorship. Partnership, multiple partners are taxed as a partnership. And in an LLC, you can actually be elected to be taxed as a corporation. Disadvantages, you must pay self-employment tax on 100% of your earnings from the business. It's important to note that tax laws change from year to year. So, I'm going to use Cindy's fiance as an example, Philip. He was an LLC. They did their research, thought they did their research, he set up as an LLC. Well, when was it that you realized, Cindy?
At tax time.
At tax time.
Not the best time.
She realized that they were getting taxed an astronomical amount. And turns out they should have been a corporation to save them some money. Yes, it was more expensive at the start, but it would save them more money in the long run.
It costs about $3,000 in taxes. That one mistake. So I encourage you to check that and make sure that you've checked everything before you decide how you're going to set up. You can change it at the end of the year, but you can't go back and change it. And you're going to have that obligation, that tax.
And then you have to pay all over again. Say you've paid to set up your LLC, you're going to have to pay the fees to set up the corporation all over again. Here's a website. This is just another resource for you guys. Business One Stop. It's a Virginia.gov website. I don't know the exact website, but you can Google it.
It's bos.virginia.gov.
Walking Google, Sandy Ratliff, of course. Tips and tricks for your business. Yeah. I was looking at, what is it, $20 if you sign up, and they walk you through licensing, they pre-fill your forms for you, things like that. You can get on here for free. There's tips and tricks to starting your business, what you will need, things like that.
The advantage to that is when you set up an account, again, it's $20. It will ask you questions about the type of business that you're starting, and then it will start directing you, for example, maybe to the Department of Taxation to get your tax ID number. It could be to Virginia Employment Commission to get signed up for work what's called for your, I just went blank. It's been a long day. But the great thing about that is since you've already set up an account, when you go to these other sites, all of your information is going to be pre-filled in. It just kind of helps that process. But thank you.
Is that $20 a year or $20 one time?
One time.
So if we did it, forgot about it, we just have to figure out what our login is.
Mm-hmm.
Some things to consider before you open your business, or things to consider now if you're expanding business. Establish a business checking account. You really want to keep those funds separate. The IRS wants you to keep those funds separate. They want to know what's going towards the business, what is going to your personal. Set up credit card processing. How many of you have a Square or PayPal or something like that? Absolutely. If you want that business, if you want more business, you're going to need to get a Square or PayPal. A lot of people, how many of you have cash on you right now?
She's trying to set you up.
I am, because I'm going to be waiting at that door after. That was a shocking amount. It was like 2 or 3 people. So yeah, if you want the majority of the room's business, you're going to definitely want to set up credit card processing. How you're going to fund the business, you want to have that set in place if you're going to put your personal money into it, if you're going to get a loan, if you're going to get a grant, things like that. Decide on an accounting method. You're going to want to set a system up, preferably computerized. You can have a general ledger if you would like, but I feel like that'd be a lot of paper. You're going to want to know if you're cash or accrual. If you're a cash business, that is when the cash comes in. That's when you count that you made that sale. That's when that cash comes in or that cash comes out. Yes, ma'am?
I want to just point out when she talked about decide your accounting method and setting up your books, next Wednesday here at the incubator at noon is a session for an hour and a half on how do you do QuickBooks online. And Danny Rubel, who's the person that opened their meeting tonight, is the one that's teaching that because he's just across the street. And so there's another opportunity. There's a bunch of free workshops. You should have information either in your book or over there in the table is a list of all kinds of workshops. But I mentioned that one because that's important to you, especially having it, the QuickBooks online. You're going to be able with your smartphone or wherever to check to see did I get that payment or I forgot to do an invoice instead of waiting until you get to the office. You're going to be able to manage everything on the go, which small business usually doing things on the go is important. Okay.
Cash is most common. Accrual you don't see much anymore. Accrual would be if you send an invoice, that's when you would count your sale. That's when that invoice got sent out. Now that doesn't mean the cash is coming in. That means your invoice got sent out. That means 3 days later you can have the cash, but you're counting the sale when the invoice goes out. Like I said, most people use the cash method. Also, establish books for the business. The QuickBooks session is definitely a good session. Obtain liability insurance, renter's insurance, or workman's compensation. Make sure you have insurance on your business. You're going to need it. We had a customer that got a loan for metal building. We require liability insurance on all of People Incorporated's loans, consumer, business, anything. He said, I'm looking into it. Already closed on the line. He said, I've got some quotes, I don't have it yet. And we said, all right, well, you're going to need it for us to disperse any money off this loan. Okay, I'll get it. Well, that weekend, a massive hailstorm came. That metal roof, gone. Needed to be replaced. He didn't have the insurance on to pay it, but he still had to pay that loan back. You don't have the business to show for it, but you still have to pay that loan back. You're still required. And that's because he didn't have any insurance on it yet. Get insurance. It is your friend. If you hire employees, you're going to need to set up payroll records. Even if you say, I'm going to contract employees, 1099, things like that, if you are instructing them on what to do, they are still technically your employees. You're going to have to set up payroll records. And then you can start your business. Easy, right? You're done. Also, we recommend having a grand opening. Join your local chamber. They are good for advertising, publicity. Have a grand opening. They'll bring big scissors. They'll cut a huge ribbon. They will put it in the paper. It is free advertising.
You've been hanging around Cindy way too long.
Sandy or Cindy?
Cindy.
You know what she calls me?
What?
She's my mini-me.
Her mini-me. Yeah.
I understand it.
Now, how did I get back like this?
But
Cindy would never do this.
I would have never done that.
I knew she was going to say that too, which is scary. All right. So, can anyone tell me why a business fails?
Oh, she's so good.
Ran out of money.
No business plan, no plan.
No plan. I love it.
Bad management.
Bad management. Anybody else?
Poor customer service.
money in experience or management, offers products and services that nobody wants or can afford. You can offer products and services that people can afford, but they might not want them. And you can also offer astronomical products that are super expensive that nobody can afford. Inability to adapt to a changing environment. Business environments are always changing. You have to adapt. Failing to control costs and poor customer service. How many of you have stopped doing business with somebody because of poor customer service? Yeah. I will drive that extra 15 minutes not to go to this certain grocery store. I will do it. Cash flow is king. Can anybody tell me why cash flow is king? You gotta pay your bills. You might show a net profit for that month, but that does not mean that you have cash flow. Why? Because that invoice that you send out might be in 30 days you might get that cash, but you still have electricity to pay, water to pay, you still have your lease to pay. You have to have cash flow because you still have those fixed expenses. Now we're going to talk about the different ways to financing your business. I asked you guys these questions and I printed off the slides. I didn't think about this before I did that. There are two main ways to finance your business. What are they?
Your lottery ticket.
Marvelous lottery ticket. Who won? Equity and debt. Equity means your personal savings, anything, your skin in the game, what you're putting into it. That rich uncle, he counts too, because he's not a bank, and he's giving you that money out of the goodness of his heart. Debt would mean a bank loan, any kind of financing that you get, things like that. Your sources, like I said, personal savings, friends and relatives. Government. You could qualify for a historic grant. Grants are few and far between. They're like a unicorn. But that's a possibility. Carl's nodding his head. He's like, yeah, it's a unicorn. Check with your local initiatives. There might be some money out there for you. Angel investors. They're informal investors. These people want a high return, and they want it fast. They're kind of like Shark Tank, the people that are investing in Shark Tank. They want an equity of your business, they want a high return, and they want some type of royalty. And you've got to be careful with these too, because if they have enough equity in your company, in your business, they're going to want to say, and they might eventually start taking over it. So you have to be careful with angel investors. And crowdfunding is another good way to finance it as well. Have many of you heard of crowdfunding? I have personally, I didn't run it, marketed a crowdfunding campaign for one of my friend's nonprofits. She did a Kickstarter campaign, so I know a lot about it. If you're interested in doing a crowdfunding campaign, come see me. You got my card. You got any questions, call me. I can give you advice. And why should you invest your money in the business? It's the least costly of funds. You're not paying interest on equity. You're not paying interest on that rich uncle. Well, depending on how nice he is, you're not paying interest on that rich uncle. You're not paying interest on the crowdfunding. There is some small fees on the crowdfunding websites, but it's not near as much as what you would be paying in interest. You're more likely to get a loan this way. If you bring money to a bank or a credit union or to People Incorporated, and you say, here's how much I'm putting in this business, we're going to say, all right, they're serious about this, they have skin in the game, and they're more likely to give you that loan. It wasn't. Sources of debt financing. Line of credit. I don't usually recommend these things. They are very high interest rates, possibly higher than a credit card. And when the economy goes bad, that's the first thing that goes. A bank bank will want you to pay due your line of credit if the economy gets bad. A lot of times, if they're nice, banks or credit unions will turn it into an installment loan and have you do a monthly payment, but sometimes they're not that nice. But it's used to cover short-term expenses like payroll, things like that. However, if you use a line of credit to cover your payroll and it goes bad, your employees aren't getting paid. Well, I keep pushing it and I don't mean to. Second would be credit cards. Credit cards can be good. Business credit cards can be bad. You can free up that cash for 30 days if you use a credit card for your business. However, you want to pay that credit card off at the end of the month because that interest rate is super high, depending on what kind of credit card you get. However, you can do small expenses like gas, things, track small expenses, everyday expenses of your business. You don't want to do it for something like rent or a large piece of equipment because you're going to have to pay back that interest on that credit card. A supplier's credit, those are things like if you were running I use this example, if you're running an outdoor like Adventure Mendota and you've got, hey, I wanted to get some kayaks. This challenger's supplier and his kayaks said, sure, you can have those for a year, use them, pay them back when you can, in a year. They didn't charge him any interest, anything like that. They had marketing. Those type of kayaks were used doing the adventures down there. Business term loan, this is your bank, credit union, also People Incorporated. We do business term loans. That's used to purchase your long-term assets. That's used to purchase your building. That's used to purchase your large equipment, things like that to operate your business. Leasing, that can be used to obtain assets to run your business. That means you could lease your equipment. That might be less expensive than purchasing that large piece of equipment and making installment payments or just paying that cash out. You might be able to lease it. Also your building. Instead of purchasing that massive building, you might be able to lease it from them. Government programs, like we said, like unicorns, there might be a historic downtown district initiative. I just check with your localities. Here are some examples of crowdfunding. The one that's used most is GoFundMe. As you can see, there's a fee to use all of these. If you're doing a crowdfunding campaign, make sure you take this fee into consideration in the amount that you're asking for. Say you need $10,000, well, you're going to want to bump that up because there's a $5,000 or 5% fee. Then you're going to have to do rewards, like t-shirts, things like that. People donate this money to you. They're going to want a t-shirt or a sticker or something like that. Take that into consideration too. How much it's going to cost you to make those t-shirts and stickers. How much it's going to cost you to ship those t-shirts and stickers. And keep in mind, this is internationally. You're going to have to pay international shipping costs. Keep that in mind as well. These two right here are for nonprofits, you caring and causes, so local animal shelters, things like that. And then my friend is actually, it's not a business, but she's got a GoFundMe and she's trying to adopt a child. And so people buy a puzzle piece to her puzzle. And you can donate $25 and it goes to her adopting a child. So you can use this for many things. Am I okay on time, Sandy?
I was going to ask, does anyone in here have any personal experience with crowdsourced funding?
I did a Kickstarter to launch a denim company in April.
Okay.
And was successfully funded with $11,000.
Yay!
Yay!
It's so hard to do.
It took me a year to put together my Kickstarter.
Yeah. You have to do press releases, you have to create that video. I mean, it's a lot of work, and that's awesome you got successfully funded. That's great. Seriously. The video is very important on here. You want about a 2-minute video, and you got to cram all your information. If you want to, hey, fund me in 2 minutes. You got to get your message across in the first, 30 seconds.
Hire a really good videographer.
Yes.
Worth the money.
Yeah. Here are a couple Kickstarter campaigns. Some guy wanted to make potato salad. that like you put on your ceiling and it gently wakes you up with a ray of light. Who wouldn't want that? I mean, come on. And People Incorporated, I'm going to toot our own horn here. Toot toot. We offer small business loans up to $200,000. Our rate is 3% above prime. That is 6.5% right now. We do not compete with credit unions or banks. If you get turned down from a credit union or bank, we will try to help you because we require collateral. However, we're a little bit more lenient on it. We take cars. We take anything that we can put a value on. Cindy says we don't like to take anything that moves.
We have to feed.
We have cows and horses, but we don't like to take things that breathe or move. Also, we don't have a minimum credit score. We don't require any minimum credit score. We also have a 9th District Fund. That's a tourism-related business. That is a 3.5%.
I was going to say, do you want to take a 5 or 10 minute break in a few minutes?
Oh man, people are tired of hearing me talk.
No, I just, when you consume liquids,
have to go to the bathroom.
just saying it.
All right, I'll get through tooting our own horn here, and then we can take a break. That is 3.5% for a 9th District Fund. That's tourism-related business. If you have a business that is bringing people here to spend money, you are a tourism-related business. I feel like Cindy wants to add. She's looking at me.
No, you're good.
You know?
I feel like I'm at an auction. If I move, you're
watching me. We do have to have real estate for collateral. We must be the first lien. That doesn't mean the building that you're doing business out of. It could be land, it could be another building, anything like that, but we have to have the first lien on it. Right. Ready?
Tell them that there's refreshments still in the
There are
kitchen.
refreshments in the kitchen. This way. There's Coke and water. There's pizza. There's cookies. There's vegetables. Paul, there's vegetables. I ate pizza today, sorry. But everybody can go. Enjoy. Use the bathroom, whatever you need to do.
10 minutes. 10
minutes. And I'm timing all of you.
10 minutes. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, this is the IDA. Those are the counties that the IDA serves. It's called the Virginia Community Development Account. For every dollar you deposit into this account, you earn $2. It has to be to purchase your home, purchase your first home, start a business or expand a business, or put yourself in a If you reside in this county, you are good to go. You can have this application. The information for the contact is here. Fill out that Hey, you're welcome.
I will tell you this, small business that are just they are willing to help everything that we get in there. The rates are it's right now. We're inside of all it is they're waiting for the money. It's just like everything else where it's an investor team that comes in, and so they're going in there again and starting over. But if you do anyone to call ours to try they're practically getting in the spot to get you in and get you going.
It's just they gotta have the traffic, are they gonna have a strong marketing to help the tenants?
What they're trying to do is get the gas this next phase of sale and see that I'm interested in it. Right now in different fields, but the building is in such great shape. It just needs to be.
This was $20 for this one. This was $1, is that right? What is that website?
BOS.Virginia.
Bill? BOS.
Stands for Business One Stop. Virginia spelled out.
For Southern Mexico.
.gov, you say?
Marla, I feel like I've missed my whole winning opportunity here. I did not get
You know what they did? They cheated. The whole, they were supposed to give it to the only the applicants
Class,
of
where
the
is it?
class. But they gave it to their cousins and everybody they brought. So we're already in the hole. From day one, I can never get business right. Seriously, I want to buy a piece to give away as a door prize at the store. That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? Yeah.
That would be really cool.
Yep, because then we can talk it up and say that it's there, and of course we've got our TV show and stuff, so we kind of mention it on there. So whenever you get something going, just holler if you want to do that, and you can come and say hello and be announced as one of the families. Exit 1, Bristol, 2 miles off the interstate on Highway 58, the Crooked Road General Store. It's just brown beans and cornbread and fried bologna and bluegrass.
Okay, wait a minute. Now, it's on Highway 11.
58.
On Highway 58.
Exit 1.
Exit 1.
If you're going southbound, which you would be up there, southbound, take exit 1, which just goes up 58 west on 2 miles on the left-hand side.
We're in college for years.
There's 60 years.
That's great.
I come to this every time. It's free learning.
That's right. Easy pass.
Seriously, we do a lot of things. Because we like introducing we don't ever advertise. We're so tiny, and we don't say whose big names are that are coming. But we've had the Darlings from the Andy Murphy Show, Dr. Ralph comes, Rhonda Vincent Rage come, Female Progressive Entertainment of the Year, Delia Bradley comes 2 times a year. Don't tell the teacher.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, what? Could you please? She's right now on top of I know. See me do that. I wrote that Thank you. I'm terrible.
Yeah. I've been I don't have
Feels good.
They need to catch up with you on coffee, that's important.
We go to a bracket soon. Well, you know what they do?
No, I didn't. No, but Ron was asking me, he was taking
Because I had exactly that, except I was short. I was going to give somebody $1 and somebody $1. We can't go. But I'm not going to win because I gave everyone else a ticket. That's the only one that's left. I'm going to look at it twice.
I'm one of those people that plays letters so much, I just can tell how many letters there are here. It's a C, B,
So, I mean,
If it's on there, it's not.
right, I mean, and most businesses don't ever take it.
Just like, I know that is all it is.
Right.
And this is, we're not. I need to do something. Let me just find it.
Right. So like when I go home, I'm gonna be like, damn. I like to be there.
Sounds good.
Did you just say cross?
Gotcha. Well, let me think. You're gonna have to have something that makes everybody think you're different. You know, that like, you're not just some flying around.
If you are, I mean, I don't know. Right. That one employee is you. Right. That one employee is
Nothing's built up.
So yeah, no, I know that's a little funny about that.
We talked.
Well, we were almost friends until I told her I was trying to smoke.
I don't like to yell.
Right here, so my left ear is really sensitive, and I thought you wouldn't stop this one. But you didn't, I just wanted straight up. I didn't talk straight.
I like that.
It's like, I can't wait to see who's there. All my friends will be there.
How are you?
I don't even know what it does.
22 years.
Why did you know how come y'all left me go?
I wrote a song about it.
Oh, get her to play this song, right?
Bryson and I have driven like 2 or 3 times at Appalachian Gas Product.
Everybody in? Ready? Ready, set, go. We break. Don't have to run. I don't want you to drop your feet then.
What, I was just telling Cindy, one of the things, if there's the new people who've never been in a challenge, because a lot of us have, we're like boomerangs. But the new people, the new people, the friends you make are really fun here. It's like, I can't wait to go see my friends. They're the only ones who get me until trophy day. Until trophy day. And then it's like every man for himself.
But the networking, the people that you meet and the networking that goes on here is awesome. So you still get a little bit out of it, even if you don't win.
The other one, though, that my wife just spoke about, if you have questions, okay, don't ponder it. There's too many people around here that can answer it that have been through this. This guy at the door, I think he knows every answer. He'll help you, but like Tom Fleckenstein, you heard his name? Get on his calendar, okay? He is excellent.
And he's
Okay.
been down to our house, and because we reached out to him several times with our business plan.
Yeah,
And
he just goes through it step by step.
well, we thought he would, and we thought because he liked us, he'd be nice. But I swear he just tore it all to pieces. We were so chapped.
Some of the business people here came to my house too, but I got that payment made and.
All right, Sandy.
All right, guys. I'm not going to spend too long on this slide. Let's talk credit because Natasha Steiner for People Incorporated, she'll be here February 16th to talk to you about credit, so she'll go in depth in it. If you haven't checked your credit, if you don't know what's on your credit, here are 2 websites that you can go to. Annualcreditreport.com allows you to get each of the Compass, Equifax, Experian, TransUnion report for free every year. It doesn't say your credit score, but it will have your report, what's on it, what's owed, what's positive, what's negative, things like that. To get your credit score, go to creditkarma.com. I use this website all the time. I sign up for it. If there's changes on my credit report or my credit score, they will send me a notice, and that is seriously free. It's not the guy playing the guitar or whatever he does. My Siri accidentally turned on and it was saying that as I was doing that. Next portion is your marketing and research. This is super, super important to your business. A lot of times it goes by the wayside and falls through the cracks because when you open your business, there are 20 million things that you are doing, and sometimes marketing and research fall through the cracks, go by the wayside. You need to define your product or service, what you are going to sell, and what niche are you serving. I don't know if some people call it niche. I don't know if you make it fancy. I don't make it fancy. What niche are you serving? Like I did with the car reference, the auto parts. I shrunk it down. I got my target market. Yeah, I'm going to do auto parts. Then I'm going to do Ford parts. Then I'm going to do 1969 Ford Mustang auto parts. So you've got to know what you're going to sell and what niche you are serving. You must have demand for your product. You must solve a problem. This thing right here doesn't solve any of my problems. That solves Cindy's problems. I don't drink wine. I'm more of a beer kind of person.
The mini-me.
She goes,
What is that picture
I
of?
don't know what that is. And it's an automatic wine opener. So it solves the problem for a lot of people. Me, not one of them. If you get an automatic beer opener over here, I'd probably buy it, but not for one. Your demand must be greater than your supply. Economics 101. Everybody's taking it. I'm sure everybody's taking it. It has to be greater than your supply. Your product or service needs to be better than the current or different from the current product. We've got Apple up here because they have mastered the better than current. Well, I think they've mastered it. I'm sure Sandy can probably agree that they have mastered it. They're always coming up with something smaller, thinner, faster, better than any of the current ones that they have. Also, you could have a new product in a new market space. We have Beanie Babies up there. They came in with a new product, new market space, and I still have some of these. I mean, I'm going to admit it. And I was like, no, I'm not going to sell them because they're going to be worth money someday. Well, now I'm sitting on a bunch of Beanie Babies that I can't even wet. So what do these companies have in common?
We're all gone.
They're all gone or going away. We taught this class to a class at the Higher Ed Center, so it was like kids that were still in high school, and they were like, "What's Blockbuster?" I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And they were like, "What's Kodak?" And I was like, "Okay, now we're getting crazy here." So they didn't change or adapt with the times. They're all declining, and this is coal. We know that is declining for our region too. Every product has a life cycle. Now, your product that you're launching can come in at any point, but every product has a life cycle. Everybody remember 8-track tapes?
I've got got some for sale, anybody need it?
That's just 8 cassettes. We got beanie babies, we got 8-track tapes. What are we going to do with them? So what happened after 8-track tapes? Sets. What happened after cassettes? What happened after CDs? MP3s. What happened after MP3s? Streaming.
Yeah.
You just stream it. You don't even have to have an MP3 anymore. So we've had the introduction of the 8-track tapes and then slowly declined after other things were developed. But you don't necessarily have to start at the intro phase. You can start anywhere on here. Where did Netflix come in? Well,
Or Red
kind of maturity. What about Redbox? On the decline. They started capitalizing on the decline. Now, Blockbuster, they tried that. Does anybody remember the Blockbuster kiosk? Too little, too late. Redbox came in here, and they're still doing good. It probably won't decline until Netflix comes up with a way to put every movie ever made on streaming. I don't know how that's going to be, but I'm sure they'll come up with it. Yeah, they're getting close, aren't they? You're going to need to do a competitive analysis. Who are your competitors? Like I said when I was talking about that business plan, are they across the street? Are they in another county? Are they doing the same thing that you are doing? How are you doing it different? How are you doing it better? Where are they? Across the street, down in the next county, in the next state. I would always recommend doing a SWOT analysis. Does anybody know what a SWOT analysis is? Yeah. Your strengths and weaknesses are internal. What are your strengths? What do you do best?